Jimmy Kimmel has always been a sellout piece of garbage. Ever since the days of The Man Show, he somehow found a way to move forward in his career by reaching for the lowest common denominator. Most of the time, that meant telling unfunny jokes with a smirk that would turn most people's stomachs. However, he parlayed that into some kind of a career in, well, comedic based shows and ended up doing a talk show gig somehow. Which I don't understand how he's never been funny, nor has he ever been able to convey real sentiment about anything at any time. But every once in a while, he actually does something that surprises me. He accidentally hits the mark or mistakenly tells the truth. I don't know. It's up to how you perceive it. But let's talk about Jimmy Kimmel, the show host. As I said before, every once in a while, Kimmel hits the nail on the head. And that's rare. I mean, if you look at this, Kimmel says, I don't know if there will be any late night shows on network TV in 10 years. Well, buddy, I can tell you, if you keep at it, there won't be. And fortunately, that runs into about when your contract ends, right? All I know is he said the right thing, and I agree with him wholly. Let's check out the story from Deadline. So he spent much of 2022 vacillating on whether he could continue hosting the eponymous late night show um, before striking the new 3 year deal. Oh, I'm mistaken. It was only a 3 year contract. And then he revealed one of the reasons he signed this deal was that he was worried about what he'll do next. Well, you probably should be. If your time on entertaining people or pretending to entertain people is almost over. But a bigger concern for the late night world is that Kimmel doesn't think there will necessarily be any late night shows on network television in 2034. Well, probably not. I mean, your bosses are doing their level best to destroy the entertainment industry right now. And pretty soon it's going to be, well, everybody over on YouTube, which I welcome you all. Come on in. I think you'll find that YouTube's a great place to find, actual truth and real authentic humor and some other authentic emotions that you've been missing on television for a long, long time now. But he goes on to say, I don't know if there'll be any late night TV shows on network TV in the next 10 years. Maybe there'll be one, but there won't be a lot of them, he said. There's a lot to watch, and now people can watch anything at any time. They've got all these streaming services. Yes, your bosses are being dumb. It used to be Johnny Carson was the only thing on at 11:30 p.m. and so everybody watched, and then David Letterman was on after Johnny, so people watched those two shows. But now there's so many options, and there are lots you can ignore, like Lily Singh, who disappeared from the late night talk show circuit for obvious reasons. But maybe more significantly, the fact that people are easily able to watch your monologue online the next day, it really cancels out the need to watch it when it's on the air. And once people stop watching it when it's on the air, networks are going to stop paying for it to be made. That makes sense. And it's an astute observation, surprising one. There's certainly fewer late night shows on TV now than over the last few years, with the cancellation of shows such as Samantha Bee's Full Frontal, which was never good, Zooey and Deese's, which I've never heard of, and Marrow, which I also have never heard of, as well as the handful of network shows that no longer exist, such as The Late Late Show, A Little Late with Lily Singh, and Last Call with Carson Daly. Well, I can tell you, none of those shows were good and insightful, and were just kind of a bait, political humor show that really wanted to be talk soup or something similar. Kimmel, who's hosted the show for over 21 years, is set to surpass Jay Leno's late night tenure next year, putting him third in the rankings after David Letterman, Johnny Carson, and Conan O'Brien. Conan O'Brien, dude, 28 years. That's amazing. He admitted to NFL legend Marshawn Lynch, California Governor Gavin Newsom, and agent Doug Hendrickson that he's concerned about what he'll do after the ABC show. I don't know. Go work for one of the big pharmaceutical companies? It's kind of what you do now. I will have a hard time when it's over. It worries me. There's part That's part of the reason I keep going. Each time I think it's going to be my last contract and then I wind up signing another contract, it's because I fear that day, that Monday after my final show, where it's like, okay, now what am I going to do? There aren't a huge amount of options for late night hosts after the shows are over. People think you are like a late night talk show host. It's not like you're suddenly going to start starring in films. No, you certainly wouldn't, Jimmy. Kimmel does run Kimmelot, a production company that has ties to the Brent Montgomery's Wheelhouse Entertainment, which is behind series such as Hulu's High Hopes, ABC's Prank Panel, Generation Gap, and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Comedy Central's Crankakers, an ESPN docuseries Once Upon a Time in Queens, The Wild Ride of the '86 Mets, as well as multiple Discovery shows. Last week, Deadline revealed he was producing Whatever Happened to Huey Lewis, a mockumentary comedy about his friend Lewis, which is in the works over at Fox. Well, congratulations. But you should be worried. The American public has fallen out of love with the late night talk show as it's currently composed, assembled, whatever other adjective you want to throw at it. Nobody's particularly interested in what you're peddling anymore, Jimmy, because it's political pablum, which is basically just propaganda dressed up like a late night talk show we used to love. Gone are the light-hearted conversations around what a specific television star was doing previous in the day, such as golfing or horseback riding. Gone are the anecdotal stories about what somebody's kids were doing prior to running the clip. And to be fair, the conversations around running the clip, yeah, that's not happening so much either. And it seems like gone are the great guests, with a few exceptions, such as Aubrey Plaza and a few others. Outside of that, what do you got left? Because it's not charm or wit. In fact, I dare anybody to put up a host, a late night host, that in the last 2 years has actually given you a real belly laugh. Because I don't think that happens anymore. Frankly, I just think that the late night shows become hollow. In comparison to a lot of the wonderful YouTube folks and personalities that I watch on a daily basis, there's a staggering difference between the two. One is very authentic and actually probably doing all their own material, all their own writing, with a few exceptions. And then there's you with a team of 14 to 19 people trying to make you look good each and every night and, well, spectacularly failing. And that brings me to a question for you. Are you watching late night talk shows anymore? Do you find them actually just mind numbing? Or are you still fully engaged with shows like Kimmel's and Fallon's and whoever else happens to be out there? Because to be fair, the three Nimrods are not entertaining to me at all. I would rather listen to bad jokes from Toxic Man Flu, or I would rather laugh at the mistakes and gaffes that Gary makes over at Nerdrotic. That's what I find humorous because that's, well, real life with real people who are sharing, well, what they really believe. And wow, wouldn't it be refreshing if television could do that? Don't expect it. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below, including the answer to that question, because I'm genuinely interested if you're watching any of these Nimrods. I don't think you are. And let me know if you think that the talk show format's just absolutely dead. Or is it just the personalities and the comedy by committee that's actually slaying the whole thing altogether? Or is it just the corporate politics of it all? Hmm. Well, with that food for thought, let me just say this. I appreciate each and every one of you out there, and I appreciate your support. Double check that you're still subscribed because at this current rate, I'm losing ground. I'm losing at least 40 subscribers a day, and it's because YouTube doesn't like me very much. Because, well, hey, I'm authentic and I tell you what I think. And even though I do try to remove some words here and there that I know for sure the folks at the platform don't really enjoy, it still seems like I'm getting hit all the time. Hmm. Well, I'll figure it out another day. But do double check and turn on all the notifications. And as always, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others. And until next time, see you.